What's up, YouTube? This is your boy. I'm back. Alright, this is going to be the mid-season video. By the end of the week, I'll come back with some new videos and things of that nature. Okay? So this one is the one that I promised you guys from 2 or 3 days ago. The title of this video is called Sex Game. The top 7 animes that should be made into television or film. Because I said the only way I would make this into a video is if the one I made about video games was well received. It's putting in some good numbers. There's good numbers, there's strong numbers, and then there's what they're called solid numbers. Solid numbers mean they're super strong. So this got to pull in either good or strong numbers. I notice when it's anime, I always pull in some strong to super strong numbers. So, because it's anime, and I love me some anime and it's close to my heart, this might get broken into 2 videos, so don't be surprised if this is part 1, and I'll have to make a part 2, because I can't name off every animated movie that was an anime into a movie or a television show, TV anime, all in one video. So, so this is part 1, so don't be surprised or shocked that if I come back by the end of the week with part 2. So don't be surprised, don't be shocked. This is part 1. So if your favorite animes are not mentioned in part 1, they will be mentioned in part 2. So just relax, hold your horses, don't panic. Well, scratch that. Don't spit out your Coca-Cola, don't spit out your Pepsi if I don't mention your anime. Because some people will go insane if you don't mention their favorite anime. Like literally, if you don't mention their anime, they'll be upset with you. So just relax. There's 2 videos, okay? Anime is such a big thing that it can't just be one video. It has to be broken into 2 videos, a part 1 and a part 2. This is supposed to be for fun, joy of enlightenment. So not every video has to be about sex and dating, and not every video has to be so serious. Sometimes I make some lighthearted, fun, fan reaction type of videos, and these are one of them. So enjoy yourself, have fun. Let's not take everything so serious. When you take stuff so serious, you can have a heart attack or a stroke. So learn how to enjoy life for what it is. Trust me, it's better to have more fun than to always take everything so literally serious. Alright, now this doesn't matter if it's in order or not in order, but I like to do these out of order because they're more fun, they're more exciting, they're more challenging. It makes the video better, and I'll probably do the same thing with part 2. Coming in at number 7 is Yu Yu Hakusho. Now, it was a very popular anime in the early 1990s. You know, I would say mid to late 1990s, early 2000s. It was like the second best anime next to Dragon Ball Z. For people who just love martial arts, you like supernatural powers, good versus evil, you know, demons and humans fighting each other. The idea of this getting made into a movie would be badass and incredible. Now, if you go the movie route, you have to only do 3 movies and 3 movies only. The first one would be Yusuke Urameshi would probably be a teenager, right? And you would probably have to do it like Spider-Man. The first movie, you would have to do it like Spider-Man. You know how Peter Parker got bit by a spider by accident? Well, he gets his spirit detective powers by accident by getting hit by a car, right? So in the movie sense, you got to make it where he gets brought back and resurrected, and his purpose is to fight anything that's supernatural. Vampires, werewolves, demons, witches, warlocks. That's what you make that first movie. You kind of make it like Spider-Man, because you're showing how a young person gets powers and what are the challenges to getting powers like this. What are the difficulties of you got resurrected, you have the power to see things that no one else can. You can't tell your girlfriend or ex-girlfriend that dumped you that you got superpowers, so you would probably do the first film like it's Spider-Man. Like they did with Spider-Man Homecoming, it would probably be something like that. Now, the second one is where you can make it where he's in college and he participates in tournaments from different dimensions. And he fights his first true evil supervillain. The third movie could just be where he discovers that he's always had this power inside of him and he's half human, half demon. So you could actually take different episodes of the story arc and make 3 films out of that. If you don't go the movie route, then you would have to go the Teen Wolf route. Remember in Teen Wolf? Then you would take that same approach with Yu Hakusho, where you can get 5 seasons or 6 seasons to explore. He's got spirit detective powers and he's fighting, vampires, werewolves, demons. He's messing around with magic of the supernatural. So that's if you went the television route. In case with this, I would probably say give it 4 or 5 seasons because that will tell you if people want to see this as a movie. So if you went with his younger years, then of course you're going off with television. If you go the movie route, then you gotta do it like Spider-Man, 3 films and that's it. That's where you would probably do it. So you don't kill the popularity of the character. So you give the audience a chance to accept it. And the reason why I say 3 movies, don't do it like Transformers, where you're gonna give it 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 movies, and then people lose interest after the second or third film. So I could see this either 3 movies or a television show. I'm okay with it. Coming in at number 6 is Bleach. It's a popular anime. I don't know how this is not made into a live action film or a television adoption. I mean, if you went the television route, you could always take the elements of Vampire Diaries or the originals if you want to make Bleach come to life. It deals with fighting other characters. It's in feudal Japan, so you could take some history mythology of that and put that into television. Like if you look at the originals, for almost thousands of years there was always somebody there. Well, you could always have it where there's someone always teaching someone how to fight the ancient ways. This would be interesting. This is how you can show all the cool classical characters. I mean, this anime has got like 7 or 8 seasons. It's got like 4 or 5 animated movies. And it's so popular in the US that I'm amazed that they have never gotten around to making this into a live action film or television show. I think with this, it would be better if you went with the television route. I don't think this has to necessarily be made into 3 films. If you made 1 film and then a television show, that would be great. You give us half and half so we don't get tired of it as a movie or as a television show. This could be either or. And the history behind it, because it's a good anime. I mean, think about it. If you look at this anime has something that everyone likes. Every character gets involved. It's not always the main character always saving the day. Other characters are getting involved. Coming in at number 5 is One Piece, another great anime. I mean, this anime does follow the roots of Dragon Ball. And if you like animes like Dragon Ball, One Piece is a very great anime concept. Again, you have a main character who discovers he has some abilities, and again, he is going to try to fight the forces of darkness. One Piece, you could go different routes. You can go with 1 movie, 2 or 3 seasons of a television show, or you can go 5 seasons and the other half can be made into a movie. You can do it before and after. You can show him younger trying to control these abilities, and the movies could be like with One Piece. You could kind of go the Harry Potter route, where you can actually literally give the story 3 films or 4 films, and then the rest of that can be into a television show. Only a few properties can get away with that. Like Firefly, it got 5 seasons, and then they turned around and made a movie. You could do this with One Piece. Coming in at number 4 is my all-time favorite, Gundam Wing. Now, if you want something that's badass, futuristic, this is where you would probably do this. Like Gundam, it deals with future technology, robots, and going into outer space. Like, what if we had World War IV, but it was in outer space? This concept, I'm amazed that no one has never come up with the idea to make this into a movie or television show. You could take the concept of Star Wars, Star Trek, and Starship Troopers, and if you infuse those together, what do you get? You get Gundam Wings. It's been an anime for like 25 years. It's got like almost 10 seasons of an anime. 10 seasons of an anime, 7 animated movies. It's that popular. You know, it was popular in the 80s, the 90s, the 2000s. For like almost 2 or 3 decades, this anime has been around. If you just take the advanced technology of Star Wars and Star Trek with science fiction and robots, men going into outer space, think about it. If we had war in space, it would pretty much look like Star Wars and Star Trek, but with giant robots. Movies like, what's that movie with Elger Alba and that guy from Sons of Anarchy? Pacific Rim. If you do it something like that, oh, it would be badass. It would be like Star Wars, Star Trek, Starship Troopers meets Power Rangers meets Voltron. It would be all of that wrapped into one. And it didn't matter who you would cast for these characters because there's like 6 characters, right? And each character has a different motivation, a different purpose for why they're having a Gundam. Like the main character is a guy who wants to be famous. You have one character who believes in some level of bureaucracy, and that's where you can kind of show the consequences of one's actions affects everyone. It would be with Gundam Wings, because it would be something new, something fresh, something different. Think about it, robots that can travel back and forth between Earth and space. Conflicts. Instead of having conflicts on Earth, we take them into outer space, but with giant robots. That would be, what you could do is have each Gundam on a different planet. So if people say it's too similar, like the manga or the anime, well, with the movie adaptation, you could have it where one Gundam is on Mars, one Gundam is on planet Saturn. Like you could actually have different Gundams stationed on different planets. Where in the anime they're all on Earth and nobody knows these robots are here. That's how you could do this concept. And of course, there would be, good versus evil. Main character falls in love with that type of girl. You could actually go with that route. Coming in at number 3 is Yu Gi Oh! It's an all-time favorite of mine. Late 90s, early 2000s. If you just take the elements of magic, what happens when you get Lord of the Rings, Harry Potter meets Shazam? The idea that if a little kid messes with trading cards and opens a gateway to another world, and all of a sudden he becomes this magical magician guy of Egypt with incredible Egyptian powers to fight the forces of evil, and he transformed from a teenager to an adult, you can actually make that possible. Warner Brothers could buy the rights of Yu-Gi-Oh! And actually make that into a live action film. Think about it. You have the technology, you have the story. A kid plays with cards, wishes magic was real, accidentally stumbles across a gateway dimension, and finds himself becoming a real character. Like similar to Jumanji, except for this would actually be a story where he finds out that in his past life he already had these powers, and through reincarnation he gets these powers back, and you can kind of play with that mythology. And you can have a bully at school become one of the villains. Then the ultimate villain is someone from his past who managed to survive in the real world, and all of a sudden his powers manifest from a dreamlike state into the real world. You could do that with Yu-Gi-Oh! It would be interesting to see how that would play out. And then if you wanted to make a part 2 or a part 3, you would probably go the Sonic the Hedgehog route with this. One film. If it's good, then you get it 2 films. Then you give it 3 films. And then if you want to take a character and make a spinoff, then you can do that. But it starts with one film first. Alright, coming in at number 2 is my all-time favorite, Dragon Ball. Now you might ask yourself, why is it not number 1? Because it was already made into a live action film twice. 1994 they made one called Dragon Ball Magic Begins, and it was very low budget and nobody knew they even made one. Then they tried to make one called Dragon Ball Evolution, which a lot of people were upset with. Now, here's the thing with Dragon Ball. Dragon Ball has to go the movie route. See, if you try to make it into a television show, people may get confused and not understand what are you trying to do? So you got to be careful with stuff like this. It has to be treated with great care. With Dragon Ball, 3 movies. The first movie's got to be where Goku discovers all his powers and meets characters like Bulma, Master Roshi, Krillin, Yajirobe, Tien Han, and Yamcha. And you have to make this like Avatar the Airbender. You have to go that route with the first one. Then, if you make the second film, you can call it Dragon Ball Z. Instead of calling it Dragon Ball Z because that's so obvious, you could probably call it Dragon Ball The Next Generation, where it's him now as a grown man realizing he's actually a Saiyan from planet Vegeta. He's married with Chi Chi, has a son named Gohan. And you can kind of make a time skip. You can make it where it's 5 years later, Goku's fighting Nappa and Vegeta in the sequel in the beginning, and then it skips from fighting the Saiyans to he fights his first dangerous supervillain, Frieza. So in the second movie, you could have a story where, okay, now he's going to become Super Saiyan. Then you can have some time pass where he tries to go Super Saiyan 2, but he can't control the power of Super Saiyan 2. And the third movie is they're fighting Cell. And then there's the 7 years where at the end of the third film, you can tease he somehow mastered Super Saiyan 2, but he somehow unlocked Super Saiyan 3. That's if you're going the movie route, just 3 films. Because you don't want to throw in the concept of Super Saiyan 3, Super Saiyan God, and Super Saiyan Blue, and then throw Ultra Instinct on top of that, and then the whole audience is confused because you've added so many transformations. If you did want to show how he got his powers, then you would just be telling the story of Goku in the first movie and make the whole entire first film him fighting Goku versus Vegeta. And then you get to where the time skip in the middle of the movie, it's Frieza who's the ultimate villain. So then you make the first movie, he goes Super Saiyan. The second movie, he becomes Super Saiyan 2, but he can't control the power. And then the third movie, you could show Super Saiyan 3, but look how long of a story that would be. So with Dragon Ball, you could give it 3 or 4 movies. If you went a television route, then it would probably end up being 5 or 6 seasons, and probably by the fourth or fifth season, people might get tired of it if you don't ever explore how does he go to Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan Blue, Ultra Instinct. So what I see happening with this is you make it half and half. Half of that should be a television show, at least 3 or 4 seasons, and then 3 movies. That way you at least explain 60 to 80% of it. I know some Dragon Ball fans are going to get angry and outraged, but think about it. You can't make 5 movies every time Goku goes through a new transformation. It'll start to look like Transformers, and that's what you don't want. And the prime example is what they've done with the first one. Coming in at number 1 is Ronin Warriors. This is the anime that made me watch all the animes. This made me watch Sailor Moon. Yes, you heard me. Don't hate. It made me watch Dragon Ball, Gundam Wings, Tenchi Muyo. It made me watch all the other animes. For me, Ronin Warriors is the anime that kind of started all. You know, the idea of 5 guys, different color samurai armors, fighting this demonic creature who travels back and forth between Earth and another dimension. And when you combine all the armors, you get the white armor of Inferno. That would be a good concept that you now can make into 3 movies. If you take the concept story of Tom Cruise's The Last Samurai and the idea of all the martial arts and go the Batman route, you give it 3 movies. That's all you need. The first movie could be how the armors were made and created, why the Ancient One turned against Topo and gave it the 5 chosen ones of pure heart. The second one can actually focus on how these armors give them powers and abilities. And then the third movie could be how he defeats the main villain. So you can make it where it takes 3 movies to beat one super villain. 3 movies is all you need for Ronin Warriors. If you had to make a Ronin Warriors television series, it would probably be before. You could do it before there were 5 other guys before them, or you could do it the next generation. You can make a series called Ronin Warriors: The Next Generation, where these guys retired, and then someone found their armors abandoned, and then the next 5 came and tried to pick up where they left off. You could do a before and after. So these are my top 7 picks. This is only part 1. I know some people are going to say, hey, you didn't mention Fairy Tales, the anime series. You didn't mention Hellsing, the Vampire Hunter. You didn't mention what if they done something with Sailor Moon or Inuyasha. And I said I was going to make a part 2 to get to that. This is part 1. This is the top 7. You know, there's other animes. And when I make the part 2, there will be animes that have already been made into a movie that I cannot put into the video. Like stuff like Ghost in the Shell and Battle Angel, they've already been made into live action film. So with those animes, I would explain what if you went a television route. So part 2 will be more of a compare and contrast. This is a fun video. Until next time, peace.